So today we are actually going to start up with a new topic, that is your NLP. Okay, so now we learn more and deep. We understand NLP in general. Now actually try to understand that how exactly, or we should say, what all steps does a NLP model work with, or does, in order to interpret the language it has to. Okay, so as we understand NLP, we understand NLP to a great extent because we have gone through it as a domain of AI, isn't it? So basically, in the domains we have done what all? We have discussed about data sciences, we have discussed about NLP, and we have discussed about computer vision, right? So these are the three basic domains we have discussed, ninth also and 10th also. Now we go a little deep into the NLP. So here we basically try to understand the human language, process the human language. If I have to develop an NLP model, an AI model, which would ultimately work with the natural language. Here, first of all, the natural language means the human language. Okay, that is something which we need to remember. Human language and natural language is same. Human language means, here I'm referring to English as such, that we are communicating in English, two humans are communicating in English. So for us, the natural language is the basic English language, human language. Okay, the way humans interact with each other. Now that we are trying to build inside a machine, that a machine should be able to interact with the human. That's the basic purpose of NLP, right? So it is focused on enabling the computers to understand. See, a person can communicate with you only when he understands your language. Otherwise, he can't. I have a Chinese and I have an Indian. If the Chinese doesn't understand Indian language, if the Indian doesn't understand Chinese language, then they can't communicate. Isn't it? Now, here also my two elements involved are the computer and the human. Correct? Computer works on a language which is a language of zeros and ones. We understand that. Okay? But humans don't understand the language of zero and one. Basic talking also. Right? So I have to make my machine understand basic English sentences, grammar, rules of writing the sentence. And I'm sorry. And communicate. Because if you understand, then only you can communicate. Otherwise, you can't communicate. Isn't it? Now, once we develop something like this, where all will they be applicable? All currently they are being applicable. Few things we are using also. Okay. There are many. I have taken a few here. Like all our gadgets which we use at home, like Siri, Alexa, you know, the Google Assistant, Cortana, Microsoft one. So all this we are using as an application of NLP, right? So they are like our personal assistants. Then we have NLP working in text classification. By text classification, I mean that whatever the text is, my system should be able to categorize it. That whether the text is, conveying a happy mood or a sad mood, or what kind of emotion is it talking about. If I talk to a human being and I communicate with him, I can easily make out from the way he's talking that whether he is depressed or not. You can easily make out whether he's happy or not, whether he's sad or not. right? So this kind of a understanding of the language has to be there, isn't it? So this is one of the applications of NLP, that based on the understanding of emotions, I'm able to classify my text. Based on the any kind of bulk data I have, I'm able to analyze that data on its own with the help of NLP, because that data is in my basic English language. So I'm able to classify from there. I'm able to analyze. Like you've got these social media analysis, retail catalog extraction, health record analysis, financial analysis. Then you have your search engines based on NLP, isn't it? In on my Google, I type whatever I want, na, and accordingly he is extracting the information. That means what? He is understanding what I'm typing, isn't it? Then you have these conversational agents, somebody you could talk to directly. Then we have spam classification. Spam classification is something which we have discussed also. In our emails, we are having spam classifier, that it is able to read the subject and classify it as spam. Whatever is the subject, or it has come from a particular source, by these mechanisms, it is able to classify it as a spam, and it dumps it in the spam folder. Okay, so these are the various applications which are currently being used already. So what we have to really work out is that how does it do it? Because we ultimately want to develop an NLP model, so we have to understand that how exactly he is working upon it. Okay, now chatbot is like a very common application of NLP. Okay, when I'm talking about a conversational agent, which is my chatbot, these are a few examples which CBSE has recommended, and I've included them with their links also. Sorry, I've not included as a hyperlink itself. You just have to copy paste it on your search engine basically, browser. Sorry. Okay, so but you can try out these applications, these chatbots, to understand that whether he is able to react to your every question, whether he is able to answer it correctly or not. Just see which is the best one. Lots of you have chatbots also classified. Like supposingly you are doing a doctor's appointment on a site, and there you have a chatbot. So that chatbot is specially designed for asking you questions based on, okay, what is your problem? What are your symptoms? You have been facing this problem since when? Like this. Then you could have a chatbot on a site where you are doing share marketing. You know, so like, okay, what is your budget? What do you want to buy or sell or what? So your chatbot will be concerned to the topic he'll be talking to you, right? So that way you can just try out these chatbots and see that how they actually communicate. How well can they be fooled, or you can say can they be mm, put at a junction where they are not able to answer you properly and they get stuck, or they are good enough to answer every question of yours and communicate accordingly. Okay. Now here, first thing is we talk about the two types of chatbots which we need to understand. That is, one is a script bot, another is a smart bot. Now, without getting into the points which I've actually mentioned here, smart bot, as you know by the term, smart and script, very easy to classify and remember it. Scripted, whenever I say scripted, means it's well defined, well written. Script का क्या मतलब है ना? Script is what? Like for a film, you have a script. and then the entire cast and the crew follow that script. You will not go against that script, है ना? Whatever is written, word by word, you will follow that. So a scripted bot is where the things are already mentioned. Where have you gone through this particular thing? That things are already mentioned and the system follows this kind of, follows that particular, you could say, rules and regulations and everything. Yes, come on, somebody. Where have you heard this thing? Come on. Where have you heard it? Something like a decision tree we did? Isn't it? What does it do? You have the cases defined. If this, then do this. If this, then do this. If this, then do this. So it's like a bot is scripted. If he says good morning, you will also say good morning. If you say good evening, then he will also say good evening. If you say good evening and he says good afternoon, that's not right. That should not happen. Okay. Or maybe we have programmed the bot in such a manner that he picks up the machine, system time, checks whether it is morning, evening, night, and accordingly wishes you. He has been scripted, he has been coded in order to react to certain things only. Scripted. It's a programmed script. It will do only that much what it is supposed to do. You cannot go outside that. Okay. So obviously it's easy to create because you have predefined situations for it. That if you say this, then the answer is this. If you say this, then the answer is this. If you say this, then he will ask you this question further. Like that. Okay. So there are not much of language processing skills required. Not much. Of course, certain cases, yes, but not much because those things are pre-scripted or predefined, you could say. It is with limited functionality. The kind of thing you get in the customer care sections of any company for that matter. The examples what I was giving, that a medical site or a stock marketing site or any of these sorts where the things are predefined, that this is what my chatbot can answer in question. That's it. Or you want to book an appointment with somebody. So he'll just ask you the free slots and the day and then picks up an appointment. But that's it. It cannot do anything else than that. But in the smart bots, here we see the flexibility. It is smart. It is AI smart. Means what? Means what? It can learn on its own. Machine learning comes here into play. You talked with him today with certain things. Next day when you come to him, he will have all those information with him. So he has developed. It's very simple to understand. Like two people meet. You have a new friend, you have a new classmate joining today. And you started, your teacher made him or her, whosoever, sit with you. Now you started talking with that person. That person told you his name, from where he has come, which school, and what was his favorite subject, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Now your brain has actually kept those things in mind. The next day you meet, Monday you had a talk, Tuesday again you go to school and meet. You will not again ask him, okay, what is your name? He will consider that you forget everything. You will not meet him as if you are meeting him fresh. Isn't it? So when this kind of a thing is happening with the bot is able to remember things, learn. Okay, this is what happened. This kind of situation happened. So I did like this. So now he knows it. Just like your machine learning environment. Okay. So that is the feature of my smart bot. Like all these Google Assistant, Alexa, Siri, these are like able to a great extent, able to work with you smartly. They are not scripted. They are based on your AI models, basically, machine learning models. Am I clear? This kind of a question, because of this portion, the NLP and the evaluation, the two topics which we have to do in detail now, and we'll start with the first one, are part of your second term. So that means we are expecting completely subjective answers from here. 2 marker, 3 marker, 1 marker, but subjective answers. Okay. So what are chatbots? What is NLP? Difference between script and smart bot, or what are the two types of bots? So now expect these kind of questions. You have to move over completely from the MCQ pattern to the subjective pattern in the second term. Okay, so I'm very specifically pointing now from this topic, you will not have MCQ questions, but subjective questions. So you have to remember all the points. You have to understand it so that you can present it using your own words also. That is not a problem, but definitely technically correct. Fine. So the first was the type of two chatbots. Okay, so that basically makes us understand that I need a system where my system can learn the language skills with time, improvise, improve. Because even I improve with time, my language skills have improved with time. Obviously, a class first child's English is going to be better than you can say, a nursery child, because he's learning new things every day. That's what we want, and that's what is happening in the case of my smart bot. Whereas in the case of script bot, it is completely a program, if else thing. Machine has been scripted, programmed to answer a few set of questions and to ask a few set of questions and accordingly work. Okay. Now, when we talk about a smart bot, when we talk about a machine understanding and processing the human language, then there are a lot of difficulties which we face. Okay. Now, few things we'll talk about, the important ones here, out of which the first thing is that multiple meanings of the same word. Now, in English, it is very, very obvious. We know that a particular word can behave in different forms. I've maybe taken an example where we are talking about the most easy way of it, but otherwise also we know that a particular word when used in a manner, it can work like a noun, then it can work like a verb, then it can work like a different parts of speech it can work. The way it has been used, basically, the usage differs. The meaning is not directly associated with the word. The meaning is associated with the way it has been used. Right? So that we learn with time. Okay. And now that is what we have to make my machine also understand. Like, for example, you see here the meaning of the word red. Okay. There are 3 sentences wherein the word red means completely different things. First one, my father turned red after seeing my result card. So here red means that he has turned angry. Right? I was very excited to see our new red car. Now here red is just a color and maybe used like an adjective. Okay. His face turned red after consuming the medicine. Now this is like a reaction of the medicine, or it's like an allergic output. Right? So like if you're talking to you can say a medical assistant, a chatbot. Now there you are saying that my face turned red after consuming this is so and so medicine. And if he considers red only as the color and has got nothing other, no other thing associated with it, then he'll never understand your problem. Right? So that is why in English, my one word may mean different when being used differently. That a machine has to understand. That a machine also has to learn. I have to feed him that thing. I have to make him understand that thing. Okay. Now, before we move on to the next next problem which we face, we need to understand these two terms, syntax and semantics. Understand it properly, because you can have a short question on syntax and semantics also. That what exactly is the syntax of a language and what exactly is the semantics of a language. Sorry, actually we use the syntax and semantics not only in language, my speaking language, but I also, or rather I should say my communicating language, but I also use the syntax and semantics word in programming language also. Okay, I give you both examples, and their basic meaning remains same whether I'm using it in reference to the computer language, I mean programming language, or whether I'm using it in my English language. Okay, so syntax of anything actually means to the rules which are supposed to be followed while writing the thing, whether it's a sentence in English or whether it's a uh, programming statement. We have heard the word syntax many a times when we talk about Python. And the syntax said there should be a colon after the if statement. The syntax said that there has to be a proper indentation when I write the if statements, and for the else statements also. These are what rules, grammatical rules for the language. Okay. Similarly, we have a lot of grammatical rules for our English language also, right? How a noun has to be used, verb, where it has to be used, adverb, articles, conjunctions, which article, a and the, where do we use where do we use and, where do we use the. And if we don't use it correctly, it will become wrong. What will become wrong? The syntax is wrong. We all went to visit a Taj Mahal. The use of a is wrong here. And it should be D. So these rules of grammar, talks about the syntax of the language. Whereas when you talk about the semantics, it's very interesting thing. Again, similar to the way we use in the programming language, that's syntactically correct but meaningless. The statement has no meaning. Okay, I'll give you an example of that so that you can correlate it with your computer language also. Suppose I'm saying a plus b, or any two values you can take, a plus b equal to c. Okay, it's not syntactically wrong. You've got a plus operand with plus operator with two operands. You've got an assignment. Okay, these variables have been defined. So syntactically, there's no problem in this. But when we talk about this in a programming language where equal to means assignment, and the assignment works right to left, then in that case, this statement becomes meaningless. C's value cannot be assigned into a plus b. This is meaningless. Syntactically correct, but semantically wrong. Similarly, when I see this statement in English, I play with the wall. Maybe I wanted to say I am playing, or I play behind the wall, or standing behind the wall, or something like this I wanted to convey. But when I write this, I play with the wall. Again, syntactically correct, but semantically wrong, because it doesn't make a sense. What is the meaning of playing with the wall? I will not play with the wall. I might play under the wall, near the wall. Under the wall is also wrong. Near the wall, or behind the wall, next to the wall, something like that. But as such, technically, grammatically, it is right. There is no problem with it, with the grammar of it, like subject, predicate stuff and things like that. Everything is correct, but it is semantically wrong. Now, these things, when you develop a NLP model, the machine also has to understand, right? That there are things like what is called as syntax and what is called as semantics, and there would be sentences with correct syntax but no meaning. So I also should be able to understand that thing and accordingly answer. Got my point? Is it okay? The syntax and semantics meaning is clear? Yes, children. I need to see your thumbs up to make me feel that yes, you are present physically also. Okay, only 2, 3. Why not others? I want everybody. Is the concept of syntax and semantics clear? If you're clear with it, then only you can write. You cannot mug up everything, no? Don't have time. Right? So this kind of a thing. Now here when I move further, then I'll say, okay, so I have to understand the semantics also. I have to understand this. I have to remember the syntax also. I have to identify sentences with perfect syntax, but no meaning so that I can work with them. Moreover, computer understand numbers. I understand English. That's very important that I convert my English into uh, the language which machine understands. So these are the possible difficulties which I will face while processing the human language. Okay. Now, in order to take care of all this, what uh, what things have been developed? What are the steps taken care of? What are being done? I mean, what is being done in order to take care of it? Okay, that's the thing we start off with next on Wednesday. That's your text normalization. Okay, I will not do any further today because I need to take your attendance also.